Welcome to Storycomic Presents, where we interview amazing storytellers and artists. This is episode 175. I'm your host, Barney Smith of Storycomic.com. Yeah. And we're excited to have with us internationally acclaimed and talented creative team of It's Monkey Time, Gary Dufner and Phil Avelli.
Phil.
How's it going, guys?
Crowd noise. Getting pumped.
So this is exciting. Yeah, guys, congratulations. You do have your you've already reached your goal already.
Super modest goal.
Your super modest goal of 200. And you guys did this before. Last time, I know that Gary was saying when last time you did your goal, you made it also fairly modest as well.
Yeah.
So
the last one we were doing United Forces Crashover was 1,500. And I think this time around we wanted to go really low because Phil was having a heart attack to get to 1,500.
Yeah, legendary was like, it's the middle of the campaign, and everybody says the same thing. They say the middle of the campaign, everything freezes,
right,
and nothing happens, and I'm so stressed out, and I'm like, oh, whatever. And then we did the first campaign, and it's true. I was like, what? Nothing's happening, like, let's go. So I'm calling people, I'm just going crazy. So I guess I made Gary a little too nuts, and he said, you know what, forget it, just.
I'm not dealing with that again. I'm just gonna set it at 200. That seems, doable.
Like,
Let's see.
It's all over.
Over that,
It's all over.
And so you guys, introduce yourselves, and then Gary and Phil. This isn't the first project you've worked on, but this is the first kids comic you've worked on.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Yes.
First one.
Well, we went to school of visual arts together in 19. I started drawing a comic strip for the newspaper Canvas called Murray's Friend, which was about this monkey that Phil and I were characters in. I don't think we called ourselves those names, but Phil was driving a Mack truck at the time, and he runs over the monkey, and my character gets out of the truck, gets the monkey, and it's a cute character. His eye fell out. It was just a play on like Garfield and Snoopy, all that kind of stuff back in the.
He had like
in the 90s.
Deep tread marks. In his back, and the eye flying out.
I wanted this really cute looking character to keep on getting hurt.
Right.
And he also would give the guys dating advice because he's a monkey.
Monkeys know how to get it done.
So after you're working on this, and the two of you kind of batted ideas around and say, what do we want to do? And so whose idea was it to say, hey, let's revisit that comic strip we did in college and turn it into a children's book, a good children's comic? All right, how did that go?
We've been, for the past 3 years, I think, we've been working on our own comics. Like I draw United Forces, and Phil draws Leaf, and we help each other with coloring and story and inking, all kinds of stuff. We help each other back and forth.
We're always writing for each other and
constantly, and
layouts back and forth.
I was in the comic store one day, and I was like in the kids section, just looking around, and I was like, Dogman. All right. And I was looking at all the kids' books, and I was like, me and Phil could do that. I know we could do something like that. And then I'm like, what could I do? Oh, I remember I have this comic strip back in the old days, and let's just use those same characters, but make them really young in the book.
Yeah.
And so
maybe
I was like,
not
hey,
have
Phil.
the deep tire treads in the back and the eye.
We had to make it cutesy now, we were taking the style, like I wanted to make it look kind of like Calvin and Hobbes meets Curious George kind of, style look with the inking and the watercolor look.
Right. So because the two of you worked in comics before, So the two of you have a history in working in comics. Was it an easy lift to then make a kids comic as compared to doing a children's book, for instance?
Phil was mostly the person that came up with the storyline. And I was the one that was trying to make it look simple visually. So talk about that storytelling, Phil.
Yeah, we kind of it fell into the roles kind of naturally, honestly, because well, I have kids, and so I have lots of experience with
That's an
their
understatement.
ridiculousness, and they're like having several monkeys in the house. And of course, for reading kids' books for the past 20 years to them and buying things for them, and I just kind of rambled out the story just like I would do with my kids. Like we would just make up stories for fun, and I would doodle on the paper, and we would kind of, just kind of go through a storyline, and make it up as we go, as when my kids were younger, and I just thought, why don't I just, what would happen, and just kind of do a stream of consciousness thing of, how the story should go. So I literally, in a weekend, just kind of started sketching out pages, and I said, how about this? And I sent Gary an email with like a 10-page PDF, with the first half of the book in it. And he was like, what is this? And so it's like, we're just going to add some lines and come up with some things. And, let's think about how we can present it. And his art style, which I'm a huge fan of, he has this great way of kind of, like doing the Calvin and Hobbes kind of look to it, and giving it very I love his watercolor backgrounds, with the tight, line work and everything. I think it's a nice combination. So I think putting it together with just like a goofy story and his art, I think it really fits well for a kid's product.
Right.
And then we decided to, I didn't want to make it just a story, just another comic book. I thought, what are we going to do to make this a little different? Which is always what everybody says. And what's the challenge to make it a little different? And I thought, what if we add things
right there,
like this page, we have the characters do timeouts, and they have certain things like how to make a sock puppet, or how to do a magic trick, or have one of the characters love to cook, and we'll have a recipe, like an actual recipe that kids could follow. And just kind of make it half comic book, part activity book, part
next comic has a magic trick in it.
Yeah, we're gonna have a couple of magic tricks and try to teach the kids a magic trick.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting. And trying to think of things that are safe and not gonna cause parents any headaches.
What I liked about what Phil was doing was he was incorporating into the story too, where it's not just stop and let's do this. It's because of what happens in the story. He brings it in, like kick the stick was because we're like they play kick the stick, and then we show them the kids who are reading it how to play kick the stick,
how they were playing it.
So
because I was which is a callback to something I did when I was young. For a year and a half, my parents lived in a really scary house in Delaware when I was in second grade. And there was Delaware. Hello, we're in Delaware. There's literally, and the reason they did that bit is because there's literally nothing. I mean, next door to us was a cornfield, and my next door neighbor was a quarter mile away. You can see the house was like this. And it was just super dark at night and really boring. So we had a swing set, and me and my sister, and we had nothing to do. So we literally found old corn cobs that were laying around, and a hollowed out tree, and we would throw the cobs at this hollowed out tree and watch it come down the bottom of the tree. And I was like, this is the most stupid thing. It was literally the size of a stop sign. It was kind of broken.
Okay, so it had a hole on the top?
Yeah, it had a hole in the top, and you kind of throw it in the top, and you hear it go glunk, 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 and it would come out the bottom. I was like, "Hey, that's really cool." So we just did that.
We've got to put that in this story. Have Murray get it and get stuck.
Well, Clem the bored farmer.
Barney, we're coming up with ideas right now on your show. So
see, that's good. So I love the idea of putting in activities and things like that. Have you been able to test these with children's audiences?
Like I live in a building and have several families with kids and in my local church and stuff, and I know families, so I would give them a copy of the book and say, what do you think? And I would get positive responses like every
Oh,
time.
good.
Within a certain age range, of course, 'cause it's very skews pretty young.
Right.
So, but they all liked it, so we were very happy with the response. Not a lot of crazy critiques. I think one kid said one of the drawings did the eyes a certain way, and they were like, "Those eyes are scary." Like, okay, we'll fix that.
Yeah, we went through a couple of reviews, and I actually added in pupils because at the first,
Oh yeah, that's what it
drawing
was.
without the pupils, just like
Like
just
a little
trying to
Orphan
come up with a
Annie.
style,
Yeah.
And
Right.
I think that if you look at the first couple of pages and then you look at the last pages in the book, you're going to see that the style is evolving just a little bit. So
Right.
it's kind of like I was trying to go really, really simple on the first couple, like this page right here. If you look at it, it's like really simple. And then if you look at the next pages, you're like, oh, he's getting a little bit more advanced with some of the lines and some of the details and the characters.
Yeah, like the characters have knees now and stuff.
Right.
They have noses now too.
Yeah, noses. Oh,
they didn't have noses before, just hollowed out eyes.
Yeah. So the kid was like, "Yeah, there's no eye. They don't have any pupils in their eyes. That's creepy."
Yeah. So I added eye hole eyes.
Some good stuff. Yeah. It's so I gotta say, the two of you, you can tell that the two of you have been working together for so long, because the give and take you two, it's been a true joy. And I said it before we went live. It's a true joy to watch you two. You two talk to each other. It's fun. It's really fun.
We're just gonna get rid of that Alex guy.
Oh! We've been doing. Well, we did one late night Big Story podcast, and we want to do more. But
we're gonna try to do our own. Get back to the live streaming thing.
Right.
So be prepared, because we'll need you there.
I'm ready to go, bro.
We'll need you there.
All right, back to
so talk to us a bit about there you go. It's monkey time. So talk to us a bit about the pledges that you have set up here. So you have
we got the digital editions for $3. You want it? You got it. It's it's not in your mailbox. It's not in your mailbox. It's in your email.
We're keeping things super affordable.
Right. Yeah. That's a really good deal. And as you say, it's about 24 pages.
27 pages.
Wow. Okay.
And we got the print edition where you want the actual physical comic book, the kids book, $5. And then you get the digital edition with it, the PDF. Oh, excuse me. And then
that's an amazing deal, because if you do the math, that means you get a print edition for $2.
Yeah, $2 more than the digital. But you also have to pay, I think, $4 for shipping and handling, so it's $9 altogether.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So then we have the hardcover edition. If you want the hardcover, it's $20 because they're expensive. This is if you want to get the $5 issue, it's going to be soft cover. So it's just like a regular comic book.
Well, the print edition is a floppy, so it's a floppy comic. It's like a regular comic. Right. By hardcover, we're talking like graphic novel cover.
Yeah.
Or you're talking not board book cover, right, Gary?
I think it's even harder than a graphic novel. I think I'm pretty sure, because I had the template that Blake sent me, and I had to do like a wraparound cover and everything for the artwork and stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it's hardcover. We're getting it off of IngramSparks.com.
Right.
So we'll be able to sell it on Amazon eventually after that.
Right.
But the people that buy now are going to get the first printings. So if you buy it on Amazon after this, that's going to be the second printings.
Yeah.
Right. And then with that, so that in a sense would end up kind of looking like a children's book if it's the hardcover on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to eventually get all of the pages together, like from 4 or 5 different comic books that we put together. We're going to do a trade, put them all together and get them into Barnes and Nobles and all kind of bookstores and play. Because that's what our goal is, because that's, Barnes and Nobles doesn't carry comic books. They want the graphic novel. They want the big thing.
Right. And then you have for $40, you get an original drawing by Phil, huh?
Original drawing from me or Gary.
Okay.
I've already purchased that tier from Phil, so I want to get my drawing.
Well, you just
I keep getting these digital sketches in the emails, and I want a real one. I want to.
Oh, okay.
Do you two kind of like are you in competition to see who which pledge gets more out of those two?
No. Phil has a lot more friends than I do, so he's getting all the pledges.
Well, that during United Forces, I think you had more than me, right?
I think we were even.
We're kind of like Legolas and Gimli, the Battle of Helm's Deep.
Nice.
So then my question for you, Phil, is like how come Gary's is delivering on September but yours is October?
Is it? I get more time because I'm
special. That's me. I went through and I did all the dates on there, and hopefully the dates will be. I pushed the dates too far, so hopefully we get everything done before that. So people like, oh, I thought I was going to get this in September. No, here it is in August. All right, cool. So
I was just curious because I don't know if like Gary, you just wanted to make sure that you could do yours ahead.
When I put the pledges together, I messed up. Thanks for telling me, Barney. I didn't have no idea.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
What are you charged for editing?
Putting a Kickstarter together with all these pledges together, it is really confusing because there's this thing called add-ons. So when you're done pledging something, you got to pledge only one tier. You click on whatever you want, and then when you pay for it, the next page you come to says, "Hey, do you want one of these other things too?" So you can add more money to get another sketch from me, or you can get the hardcover, or you can get a soft cover, or you can, whatever you want to do. So it's a hassle putting these Kickstarters together, I tell you.
So I am correcting myself. So the sign print edition is September, but both of yours are in October. So,
okay. Yeah.
Oh,
A little more time
the
to draw.
printed edition, that's going to take a little bit longer because we have to send it to each other because he lives in Bronx, I live in Florida. So it's got to be sent to Phil. He signs them, send them to me. I sign them. I send them out to everybody that wanted the signature. So, and that's going to be on the soft cover, not the hard cover.
I'll just drive back and forth.
All right. I told you to come on down.
So looking at their stretch goals, you've already made $600. So that means like your stretch goals, you've already unlocked the sticker, which was at $3.
Sticker has been unlocked.
And then you have the trading card of Betty the Detective Pig.
600.
It's open. Unlocked. Right.
So now we're working on the next goal.
We're working on the trade card of Ace. He's next.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you're gonna get. Yeah, you'll be able to hit that pretty soon.
I hope so. Phil did an initial sketch for the trading card, and I was like, I know you can add some more to this, Phil. I know.
Gary's teacher came out of himself.
Yeah,
that's right. I'm like, that's right. Gary's a teacher at a online for-profit college. See, yeah,
LA Film School, big shot.
Right.
Yeah, the graphic design department. Yeah, so Phil does all the sketches for all of the books. He does the most of the stories and the sketches, the layouts, and then I will go in and I'll go, okay, so I like resize things and make them whatever size I think it should be. And then for this one, he had drawn the monkey with Betty, with the pig with the foot on the ground, and then I added in the floorboards, the frame in the background with the villain in it, and the frame.
Okay.
So we are a collaboration when we do the artwork.
Yeah.
And I have to point out, I'm amazed at how soft that the wood floor is, where the fact that you can get a
It's
footprint.
very
on
soft
it.
wood. It's old. And it's only soft in one spot because there's only one
Right.
footprint.
Right. Yeah. It's amazing.
You've seen that wood that's really soft.
Yeah.
It's a balsa house.
It's a
I
balsa.
wonder if you know
called the
what. Now
balsa
that I'm
house.
looking at it, maybe I should put some like mud around it too.
They just
you
look
know?
like mud, a muddy footprint. Would make a footprint. And you got to work on coloring her Betty's hat anyway, because it's.
Oh, thank you, Phil. See, I miss things. I miss things.
Yeah.
Thank you. I need an
See,
editor.
we're very much a work in progress.
We
pair working on our
are.
projects.
So let me ask you, because the two of you have your own main comic book series that you're doing. How do you balance the time to dedicate working on It's Monkey Time as compared to your other works?
Man, it's
tough.
crazy hard.
It's easier for me because I don't have a huge family. I work. I get up in the morning. I start grading. I'm an online teacher, so I start grading, and then I start maybe redeveloping a class or whatever. And then by about 4 or 5, I'm on to working on United Forces or Monkey Time.
Yeah.
And for Phil,
my prime time is coming up because it's almost summer, so all the kids will be out of school.
Yeah.
So all this commuting back and forth to school, I get to cut that out of the mornings and afternoons, and I could dedicate more time. But most of my job I do overnight, so a lot of my hours
graveyard shift.
Yeah, I'm a graveyard shift guy, so I don't have a day job, I have a night, overnight job, and so a lot of times it's very quiet, and I'm able to, in a crazy fever dream of trying to stay awake, come up with monkey stories.
Perfect.
And
Perfect.
and then I just send them to Garrett. Garrett, how about this? It's like 3 a.m.
I wake up at 7 or 6 o'clock in the morning. I wake up and I go, "Oh, it's Christmas! Yay!" I look at it and I go, "Oh, that's good." Never disappointed by anything you send me, Phil. It's just everything's gold.
Thank you. It's great too because the place where I work, they have the big copy machine and everything, and I just like PDF stuff like right there. I just sketch it and send it, and it's good. That's good.
Well, I'm cool with Photoshop, so whenever he sends me a picture, a sketch with just the phone, I'm like, "Oh, no problems, I got it." And then I'll
because I'm like, "What do you think of this?" I'll just send like a picture from my phone. It's like something like this ? Click, and I'll send it to him as just to get an idea if the layout's good, and he'll take it, and there it is. Now it's finished pencils, and he's got it all framed in and sized in his Photoshop, and it's like, oh, that's all I needed to do
for it to be finished.
I'm so ridiculously old school. I'm like, wait, I didn't clean up my lines and ink it.
That's okay, man. You gave me a great start to start off with,
which in a way is very freeing,
Right. Because Gary, you started even using Photoshop after you got your MFA in photography. You started getting your Photoshop in your Cintiq back in 2012.
Yeah, I started doing web design in 2002, 2003, and that's when I started learning how to use Photoshop and Illustrator and Dreamweaver, and then I started teaching those things at another for-profit college for about 16 years. And then in 2012, while I was going to school, while I was teaching at that school, I had to get my master's because they said, "Hey, if you don't have your master's, we have to kick you out. You can't be teaching anymore." And I'm like, "Well, if you can help me pay for it." And they're like, "Yeah, we'll help you pay for it." I'm like, "Really? All right, let's do this." So I had a sweet deal, and I had the best time. It was awesome, And that's when I was doing photography, and that's what I teach at the LA Film School. I don't teach drawing; I teach photography. And I was able to digitally manipulate the photos that I would take on the Wacom Cintiq with brushes and all kinds of stuff, just to make it look more dramatic and lighting and all kinds of stuff.
Right. Yeah. And so, Phil, and you said you're more old school. Are you a pen and paper kind of guy?
That's strict for it, because Gary's tried several times in total frustration to teach me Photoshop and whatever else, and I'm just like, what do I do with this? And I'm like, all right, this should be easy. And they're like, well, first you got to do this, and then you got to do this, and if that doesn't work, come around and do this. Here's a lasso tool.
I forget that when I
What is
initially
this?
started learning the computer back in 2002, I had a great teacher myself. It was I was married at the time, and she knew all about computers, and she taught me. And,
See, I am too, but I'm unteachable.
Oh,
because my wife is amazing with computers and terrific with Photoshop, and she's my other colorist. When I'm not abusing Gary, and she's like, just do it like this, and I'm like, what is? I don't get this, and I get frustrated. And I smash the computer, much like a monkey would, and I just get my paper and my pens, and I go, oh, I'm comfortable now. I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm gonna be okay. I dip my ink.
It's gonna be okay. Yeah, you don't
I
need
get my Winsor Newton Series 7 brush.
Look at that magic! And he has a cover on it
with a cover, of course.
Yeah.
Don't let those bristles go dink.
Oh no.
So I guess my next question for you all is, like, as you're growing up, and I know that you made some references to when you're growing up about being bored. How much of this do you see is reference to your youth, and it's kind of a love letter to the things that reminded you growing up, and how much of this is that you are directly influenced by the children of today?
The child in us.
Well, when I found a talking monkey, no, the go-kart bit was actually from my childhood, because I grew up on Long Island, and had a good buddy of mine, and I were, this is back in the early 80s, and my buddy and I were really into Smokey and the Bandit. So we wanted to build go-karts and race each other, and we were desperate. So we would find junk and old baby carriage and steal the wheels and stuff, and try to build it. I assume it was a broken baby carriage. Maybe some kid went without rolling around. I don't know. But built a couple of go-karts. We chased each other, crashed them and stuff. And I actually at one point built a box on the back of the go-kart that we built, and I wanted to create something cool. So I'd actually put smoke bombs in the box, and before I'd get pushed, I'd light the smoke bomb, throw them in the box, and then I'd go and I'd lift the handle and dump the smoke bombs out and leave a smoke, like a smoke you can't
smoke
see
screen.
me, right? Smoke screen. And of course,
That's
it's
so
stupid.
awesome.
You can't. It's like
You're
like
a superhero, man. You're awesome.
purple smoke from the little smoke bomb from the ice cream truck.
So good. That's so great.
But we had fun, and we crashed those things up, and so that was my go-kart to Doom. Definitely comes from that.
The sock puppets are actually not from our
sock puppets are Gary's part-time job.
That's actually from COVID 2020. At the beginning, I started doing a sock puppet show, and I was like, and Phil's like, we got to put these sock puppets in this.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, Phil Wayne. I was thinking he was Batman too. Yeah. Phil's actually Batman.
Put out my secret. Long Island Batman.
That's awesome, Phil.
So Jack, is that you, Gary, then, and is Max Phil?
Yeah,
pretty
kinda,
much.
Yeah.
If you couldn't tell.
And if you read their T-shirts, Phil says you stink. And in United Forces comic book, it's my character and Phil's character in that. So, and my character wears a skull on the shirt, and Phil wears a a shirt that says "You suck," and then in this it says "You stink." And my character wears the same skull shirt, so they're the little kids from United Forces as the kids in the book.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, who knows if people will get that eventually.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's okay.
So for artists and authors that might be watching or listening, for some advice, what type of advice would you give them who are saying, "Hey, Phil, Gary, I'm doing comic books. I want to do a kids comic book. What's your advice? What's your advice for comic creators for that?"
I would say just be as silly as possible. I mean, just don't hold back anything. I yell at myself while I'm doing this. I'm like, that's not silly enough. And I throw it away. And I'm like, I got to come up
Good.
with silly, get as silly
Good.
as possible. And I find myself holding back sometimes because this is our first kids, thing. I'm like, I could get way goofier with this, I'm sure. So as the story evolves, we're going to have more crazy stuff too. But that'd be my thing is like, don't worry about anything. Just literally go and just tell the story and have as much fun with it as possible.
Yeah, be silly.
Yeah.
More fart jokes in it.
Yeah. Why not?
There's a scene where Whitney and Jack are mending the monkey after he gets hit by the go-kart. They're in their dad's office, the dad's doctor's office in their house, because they tiptoe into the house and they want to fix the monkey. They don't want to talk. They don't want to bother their father, and they have him on the table. And when they're done fixing the monkey and mending him up, Jack says, "Whitney, you did a great job, but are you ready to play a video game?" And he goes, "Well, I get it. I get the good controller." And then they run out. They forget about the monkey, and the monkey gets flown up and hits smacked into the wall from the table, ejecting into the wall, and then some air comes out of him.
So did you put the sound effect in the video, by the way? I forgot. Yeah, you did, right?
I think I did. I went. If you watch the cartoon video that I put together, I got some voice actors to do the voices of each of the characters that were reading the lines, so you can watch that.
I've watched that, and I recognized your voice in there too, Gary.
Mine is in there. I'm kind of like the narrator, and I do Max's voice, and but I got Phil's daughter, Mackenzie. She does Whitney's voice, and then I got these other two guys who do the monkey and Jack's voice.
Right.
Because I had to get a young kid to play Jack's voice because he's the most talking in the book. He does the most talking. So.
Okay.
Gary's voice.
And we wanted to find.
I didn't
want to do this. Hey, Whitney.
Hey, monkey, what's your name?
And I hope we got a good guy that did the voiceover for the monkey, Murray. I think we found somebody who's pretty good at that.
Yeah, he sounds great.
Yeah.
So we're gonna use him again. Now we're gonna.
So as you see, you've been able to successfully get the Kickstarter funded. How often are your readers going to be able to the next issue?
Well, issue 2 is halfway drawn.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're trying to decide how far to spread them apart, and in between releasing the issues, which I'd like to do quarterly if possible, but I don't know how fast we can produce. But quarterly would be ideal. In between, we're thinking of starting a Patreon and calling it the Monkey Time Monkey Club. And that way we can show preview pages and process and things and little pieces of the next story.
Some stickers and a club badge. And,
like every
club badge.
Yeah, and like every month we post a new puzzle or a little comic strip or something just to keep them engaged. keep coming back and finding new stuff.
Right. Cool.
Kind of
Well,
fitting
like I
in with
said,
the whole things to do
I'm down.
theme, you know,
right.
Let's do it.
arts and crafts and stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, congratulations, guys, on hitting your goal, and I'm really excited. Really excited to, and so if people wanna to follow your own work, what's the best place for people to find your work, Gary and Phil?
They could go to monarchcomics.com to pick the for United Forces and Leaf.
Okay.
They could go, you can go to my website, GaryDufner.com, and all of the links to, Monkey Time and United Forces and my band Vetica. If you guys want to listen to some music or watch some music videos that I make.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, man. There's the United Forces issue 2, working on issue 3 right now. There's the sock puppets right there called Sock You. And then there's the Big Story podcast link. You can go on there. So we got some stuff going on.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're working on it.
Right.
Yeah, you can even
look
at
and
my
what about
fine
you, Phil?
art.
Yeah. So so it's philavelli.com, or I post a lot on the on my Facebook page. It's Phil Avelli Art. And
we don't update our website as much as we update our Facebook.
Yeah, we're really
Instagram
bad at that.
Look at that Wolverine drawing that Phil did. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a commission. And everyone keeps asking me, why'd you put a gun? Why does Wolverine need a gun? And there was in the issue, he takes a gun and he assassinates somebody or something. So it has to do with the story. I didn't write it. I don't know. When someone gives you a commission, that you just do what you're told.
Of Leaf right there.
Yeah, so that's issue 2.
His mind, he's going with the magic.
And I'm also working on issue 3 because Gary and I, if you don't know, the United Forces and Leaf is a flip book situation. So United Forces on one side and Leaf is on
the other side.
A call back to when we first released these stories was in 91 or 90.
Wow.
And it was black and white during the black and white purge. We were a part of that mess, and it did pretty well. It was Leaf was the main story, and United Forces was like a backup.
Yep.
Right.
And but now we kind of split it even Steven as we've come back to do some more and bring those back. So yeah, somewhere you look on eBay anytime, you'll find like the old Leaf issues 1 and 2.
Oh wow!
The
Bill Sienkiewicz cover.
Bill Sienkiewicz did a cover. Marshall Arisman did a cover.
So perfect. Well, thank you so much, guys. And listen, you got to come back on for issue number 2.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
We're
here.
Thank you very much for having us.
So there's the sock puppets.
Yep, there you go.
We're taking over again.
Bye.
Did we get through all of the tiers and the if we make it to
the grand total
2,700,
then there is the mini comic that you get.
The mini comic that Phil drew by himself and everything. Just the whole entire book is all by himself, and it's awesome. If you go to the bottom of the Kickstarter, you can see the original Murray's Friend drawings, the comic strip. I put it all the way at the bottom so you guys can check out what I drew back in 1990. Yeah, it's the Big Story Takeover right now.
Yeah! The Big Story Takeover. The big takeover.
Yeah. So we do a podcast on Tuesdays called the Big Story Podcast with me, Phil, and Alex Morrissey. And Alex is the main guy that asks the questions, and
he asks the smart questions. We just kind of go, yeah.
And then we make smart comments and
Smarmy
rude.
comments.
We fart and burp, you know. And then the guests go, "Who are these guys?
Who are these two?
Why are they on here with us? Why
I'm
aren't
here
they?"
for an intellectual discussion about sequential
Right.
art with Alex.
Yeah, me and Phil are drawing.
Who are these
over here.
ruffians?
We're just going. What'd you say?
Big Story Podcast.
So, BigStoryPodcast.com.
Check it out.
Is it the Big Story or is it BigStoryPodcast.com? I can't remember.
Big Story Podcast.
I can't put it on the banner scroll on the bottom.
No, we have no power here.
I have no power here. We just have the video
here.
and that's it. Yeah.
Stranded here
So
live.
buy more. It's monkey time. On
10 days to go.
10-day
countdown.
God, only 10 days. Are we gonna do a Are we gonna do something next Wednesday? The
live
closing?
Yeah, we should do something.
Say,
sure.
People, we need more money. Send us more money. Phil needs more money.
Yeah.
Send him more money.
We really want to make comics like for a living.
You know, I'm proud of us getting $700, $650. You know?
Yeah, for $5 a pop. Not bad.
It's we're gonna do this, man. We're gonna do this.
It's fun. Either way, it's fun to do, and we can't stop anyway. Apparently,
I've been working on so much United Forces in the past 2 months. I'm ready to do some It's Monkey time.
Yeah. Yep. I got this tyrannical editor trying to get me to finish a script.
Yeah.
And he won't get off my back.
What's the script for? Is it something we can talk about?
For Leaf.
Oh.
My other
issue
book,
3?
which you can find on monarchcomics.com.
What was that again? I missed it.
That's monarchcomics.com.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Is that spelled with an M? M-O-N? N-R-C-K? M-R-C-H? Monarch? Like the butterfly.
Lots of great comics on there, like Evil Monkey Man and The Last.
Yeah. And Witch Hunter.
Witch Hunter, of course.
They have some other stuff
United
on there,
Forces
like
and Leaf.
They have some other weird stuff on there, like Black Sabbath or something. I didn't know what that was.
Yeah, they do album review books. It's music documentary books.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm digging that Evil Monkey Man.
Matt Herring.
There's lots of history in the Evil Monkey Man comics. Like if you really, it's not just a story. It's you learn about history of the places that they're going to in the comic, in the story, which is kind of cool.
It's not even painful.
No. And there's like hints and like Easter eggs all over to tell you what's actually happening, and the foreshadowing in it. That I was reading the book.
Oh, sorry, you're reading the book.
Oh, I was reading and Blake was like, "Oh, right here, this is an Easter egg. What's going to happen?" And issue yada yada yada. And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know."
Yeah,
what were we gonna say?
Excellent writing with planning everything out. Very, very good with that. I'm terrible with that.
We're both terrible. We're both terrible at that. And that's why we work so well together.
Hey, Barney.
Hey, it's this amazing
Barney's
Vermont
back.
internet.
All right.
Yeah. It's this amazing Vermont internet, I tell you. So, yeah.